may this be one of the best moments of your life. You're listening to the BusinessMirror podcast for a broader look on business with Senior Editor Dennis Estopace.
I'm Dennis Estopace, and welcome to Tuesdays with Tito, a podcast to be anchored by Tito Valiente, one of the 100 honorees in the Centenary of Philippine Cinema and columnist for the BusinessMirror newspaper. Mr. Valiente will share with us one of the many pieces he wrote for his column titled Annotations, which is published every Friday in the op-ed section of the BusinessMirror. We hope you enjoy your Tuesday with Tito.
Tuloy-tuloy sa cherry ating pagsasama, kahit sa hirap man o sa ginhawa, lagi kang nariyan. Sa tuwing pinatawagan, sulit ang pagsasamahan. Cherry atin to, cherry atin to, cherry atin to.
The Republic of Whatever Wisdom. There was an island republic that was known for its unique attitude to life and law, to order and peace. The republic became famous for its location. It was in that part of the ocean where its back was turned against a giant land populated by acquisitive creatures, noted for naming all lands and seas, all moving creatures, even unmoving stones, as its own. The republic was closer to this behemoth of a landmass, but for whatever reasons, there is that word. The land and its happy people tended to face another republic that was several miles away across a vast ocean, a land that believed its people were white and blonde and tall and good-looking, when in fact those white ancestors occupied the land and drove the original settlers into the woods and were thus by residents declared witches. To this land of milk and honey, the island republic felt loved. This island republic was noted for being a nation of happy people. In fact, there was a period when it was ruled by a couple who masked their ruthlessness with charm and good manners. I forgot to tell you that the island republic cultivated a culture of charm and good manners. Anthropologists, when they were still free to roam the forest of this island republic, discovered that the people living there and in the other areas of the republic did not possess the notion of evil. It was all charm and good manners, sweetheart. The other half of this ruling couple, the queen, had cultivated a love for numbers. Well, you know what wise men can do with numbers. They could turn them into what shamans called statistics. These were numbers that were so wild they could live unhampered in anyone's brain. This woman came up with the idea that her island republic was where the region wore a smile. That bothered the other wise men and women. A smile was never part of any study on statistics. They fought that concept, for in this island republic, wise men and women were always ready to go to war with concepts. Instead of wild statistics, the island republic legalized smiles as numbers. You count the numbers, and the sum total stood for level of development. Wonderful! The people, mostly politicians, very close to the couple, agreed.
Tuloy-tuloy sa cherry ating pagsasama, kahit sa hirap man o sa ginhawa, lagi kang nariyan. Sa tuwing pinatawagan, sulit ang pagsasamahan. Cherry atin to, cherry atin to, cherry atin to.
But one day, for whatever reason, the people got tired of the couple. The people drove their king and queen, for that was how this couple thought they were, to the land of supposedly white men and women with yellow hair. Another ruler came to power. She was a woman, kind and gentle. She carried a yellow banner, not so much to honor the land of white men with yellow hair, but to pay tribute to an anthem composed by a white man with black hair. The song was really a tacky song, but years had weird ways of turning trash into treasure. The song, "Tie a Yellow Ribbon Round the Old Oak Tree," was transformed into an anthem of hope, a battle cry. It even supplanted a Maudlin song that was about a village who cried like a bird when it was caged. Historians, or those people who believe in the past and in colonial diaries called archives, were at a loss in describing how a flippant song could push people into fighting for freedom. There was no explanation. Wise men and wise women, after much lamentation and theorizings, for the two were interchangeable, looked at each other and uttered the word, whatever. These wise men and women who taught in big schools began to popularize that word, whatever. It could be used anywhere and everywhere. It described why oil price could not be controlled. It explained why men called priests and not women ruled sites called churches. It explained why these priests who spoke of being poor as virtuous were really never poor. It helped ordinary people accept even the dumbest and therefore most difficult concept of servant leader. It aided people to embrace deadly creatures called politicians. Now, politicians as people and as idea challenged even the most brilliant of philosophers. In the Island Republic, politicians ruled the everyday life. They ruled eating and drinking. They ruled breathing and living. They ruled beauty even. The politicians were able to do this by passing what were called laws. These so-called laws were really senseless and stupid words stringed together to compose what appeared to be a landscape of sense and sensibility. You remember what I told you before? The people of this island republic went for charm and good manners, for things that appeared nice on the surface. In reality, these laws were fatuous and flaky, insipid and inutile, irrelevant and insensitive to the reality out there. There was another problem. Giant schools taught a course called philosophy, which was mindlessly borrowed from worlds that did not exist anymore. These courses taught many men and women who became leaders and politicians that reality was something out there. It was an idea so difficult to comprehend, and in an island republic where everyone valued everyone who could show they understood anything, even if they didn't, this was tragic. Politicians were people who could convince other people they understood reality, when in fact they could not. These politicians who passed the laws were like the laws. They were handsome and dressed well. It did not matter what was behind the pocket squares. What mattered was the scent they exuded. The women, for there were women politicians, were filled with pulchritude, for even that could be passed like a law. And so one day, like a breath of air, not necessarily fresh, the people placed on the throne a ruler who had no charm and no good manners. Tired of what they thought to be pretenses, the people, or a majority of them, went wild with a man with no charm and good manners. All went well for a few days. People laughed at his jokes, and yet people were being killed all around. But there were always laws to support the killing, and there were politicians. Some still had manners and charm, and some did not. And they were passing laws that helped in killing more people. No one knew what to do with the ruler, the politicians, and the laws. All people could say was, whatever. And then one day, a law was passed. Children who are bad should not be allowed to live beyond the age of 9. Why that age? Why not 15 or 18? Nobody had any explanation. The politicians mustered enough charm and good manners and looked at each other and muttered, whatever. The people who loved leaders with charm and good manners, without charm and good manners, stared into the horizon with tears in their eyes and whispered, whatever. But there are gods. Okay, there is a God. One day, with a gnashing of teeth and the pulling of hair, why these images, I don't know, whatever. In the island republic, that God looked down, cocked his mighty head, and bellowed, whatever.
Tuloy-tuloy sa cherry ating pagsasama. Kahit sa hirap man o sa ginhawa, lagi kang nariyan sa tuwing tinatawagan. Sulit ang pagsasamahan. Cherry atin to, cherry atin to, cherry atin to.
Thank you for listening to the Business Mirror podcast. For a broader look on business, follow us on Facebook and Twitter at Business Mirror. Until next time.